Hello and welcome to a new episode of Knock of the Perch, a Manchester United podcast. And we are recording a day after Manchester United's tepid performance against Brentford, 3-1 defeat. Very, very disappointed personally, not just by the result, but in my opinion, how the team played. I felt it we lacked intensity, we lacked energy as we went into the game, and that showed in the final result. Let's break down the game. Hey Dheeraj, what did you make of the performance against Brentford?
I mean, all levels of bad, to be very honest. Hard to take any positives out of the game. There are very few games when no player impresses you, when no player shows that attacking impetus. This was one of them. I'd love to write it off, but the fact that we get one of these games every 2, 3 games is a worrying sign.
Yeah.
Whether we take it to the starting lineup, whether we talk about the in game management, whether we talk about just being behind in 20 minutes of the game, starting after a week of training and everything, that too, a lot of players and the manager talk about how
Yeah.
they had prepared for the very same scenarios in which Brentford scored. I
Yeah.
mean, if we actually knew how they were going to play, we should have done better in this game. It's all levels of bad.
Yeah. Maybe let's start from the top in terms of how the starting lineup was. We can talk about different points during the game as well. But you talked about the fact, and even Amorim spoke about the fact that it was expected that Brentford would play long balls. They will target our box through corners, even throw-ins. I think Coyote was taking some of those really long throw-ins which were going deep into our box. And so there were two arguments to look at that. Because we knew that they will have a lot of this set piece aerial presence, maybe makes sense to play likes of Maguire and Delict, who are possibly one of the best aerial presence in the box. But on the other hand, when you're trying to maintain a high line against a defense who may play long balls, the other argument could be why not have a pacier defender? And you had somebody like a Lenny Euro ready-made who has had a decent start to the season, and suddenly he's been away for a couple of games. What did you make of that defensive starting lineup?
I mean, as much as I'd like the revival of Maguire and Maguire's career at United, hindsight being 20 on 20, it would have been much better had it been Delit and Euro starting the game.
Yeah,
Euro, as you mentioned, has had a good start to the season. He's not put a foot wrong. Somehow, I feel that if Euro was in place of Maguire, this
yeah,
goal was totally avoidable. And even the second goal, which we conceded, that was also a mix-up between Dalo, Dilit. All of our defense is having a shocker. This is basic schoolboy defending. To be very honest, we cannot be expecting our defense to behave in such a manner with teams like Brentford.
yeah,
We've had decent games against Arsenal. Let's keep aside results for a second, but if we have individual mistakes in us at any given point of time during this Premier
yeah,
League games, we are going to get punished and we are
yeah,
never going to get any manager time. And
yeah,
the fact that our starting 11 still features, you know, average performing players like Dalo,
yeah,
Maguire, who's had a 50-50 start of the season, and Shaw. Shaw also has had equal number of good games and bad games this season.
yeah,
Against City, he had a shocker. So the fact that we have a Lenny Euro, the fact that we have a Aiden Heaven, and the fact that we don't have that many games makes me think there should be a bit more rotation. We should be seeing a bit more rotation. But
mm,
obviously, the manager is putting his faith in this group. I think all of these three form the senior group in
yeah,
United: Dalo, Maguire, and Shaw. So, in addition to that, Dalo and Dorgu, who are supposed to be the most important positions in this system,
yeah,
the days they are not on their game, Dorgu, as athletic as he is, I'm not seeing the output from him,
mm,
and I think that is the biggest difference when someone asks us, "Hey, there are other teams also who are playing three at the back. Why are they doing so pretty well?" People take example of Crystal Palace. People take
yeah,
example of Bayern Munich at certain points of time. People take
yeah,
examples of Inter Milan. But I think
yeah,
what the different thing they are doing, and the difference is, one, they have a bit more midfield control. They have
yeah,
disciplined midfielders, and they have like for like they have better fullbacks than us.
yeah, yeah. And talking about the midfield there, I was thinking about the game before it started, and My thought was that Brentford are not a team who have a lot of control in the midfield themselves. They don't try and play through the middle so much. And which is where did you really need a defensive minded player who was there to break play or in Ugarte, or could it have been an opportunity to try a Menu and Bruno partnership where, from what we've been reading in training, Amorim has been trying to groom Menu into that number six position. He can get better physically, defensively, but he has a good ball control anyway. So I think he would have provided a good attacking impetus and control to this Manchester United team. So again, I think that was also a bit of a 50-50 decision in my head.
I mean, it's a bit unfair because Ugarte is one of the people who had a decent game yesterday. If
Yeah,
anything,
no
if we have to
doubts. Yeah,
blame someone in the midfield, it has to be Bruno Fernandes. Uh, had a shocker of a game, Bruno.
yeah,
Never controlled the tempo of the game. The game went past him. His passes were not. He didn't create much of note.
yeah.
Missed the penalty, of course, which brings me to the question: should Bruno Fernandes continue taking the penalties when we have someone like a Bumo or a Cunha with us? What is your opinion on that?
I think Amorim needs to be a little strong with some of the decisions he needs to make. There is no harm in having 2 to 3 core penalty takers where if now Bruno has failed 2 out of 3, probably a good chance to move on to somebody like an Embuemo, who we know has a good record in the Premier League. Give him a bit of a run, and if he continues to do well, he can continue as the key penalty taker for Manchester United. Obviously, Bruno, if you look at over the years, he's been pretty consistent with his penalties. But now that you have somebody who can take them equally well, why not try them? And I would be really appreciative if Amorim took some of their decisions, because there has been a bit of a narrative. Yeah,
Penalty takers, historically and even lately, the decision the manager usually leaves it up to the player. I've read a few of this. It is not up to the manager. The player themselves decide between themselves who's feeling more confident on the days. We have seen a lot of bust ups lately in teams about the penalty taking. The best example I can think of is Manchester City. Kevin De Bruyne used to take penalties, but as soon as Erling Haaland was signed, he gave up his penalty duties for Erling Haaland. I
yeah,
think Bruno, being the captain for the greater good, has to take that initiative. I don't think everything we can put up to Amorim. As many man management mistakes that Amorim has in him, sticking by the system, dodgy lineup and
yeah.
dodgy substitutions. By the way, is brought on a center back in like 80% of his games as a substitute, which for
43
the
out of
life
49. Yeah, yeah,
43 out of 49 for the life of me I cannot understand. Someone needs
yeah.
to educate me on this. Why is this a necessary thing?
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand a lot of that either. Maybe he feels that changing, like for example, if you look at the game yesterday, when he got Lenny Euro on, and to Amorim's defense there, he was not stringent with the system. The system itself evolved a little bit. We almost moved to a four at the back because we wanted more players up front because we were chasing the game. So it was Dallo right back, Delict and Euro as centre backs, and Shaw almost in that left back sort of a role with Dorgu playing further
On
up
the
the
wing.
pitch. Yeah. So he did make that change, and I think what it allowed was that he moved into a more pacier, a more uh, mobile centre back in Lenny Oro at that point in time. And maybe that's his belief, right? The centre back sets the tone for how is it that we are going to play at that point
Hmm.
in time. So moving from Maguire to Euro set that tone, but sadly it didn't lead to much. We still lost the game. But yeah, I think there are a lot of areas that this Manchester United team needs to improve on. And just before we move ahead on goalkeeping, again it was Binder who started the game. A lot of fans, us included, have been talking about the fact that is it time to give Lamens a start? And going by yesterday's performance, do you think Binder still continues in goal after this?
Lamens has to start for me against Sunderland. I don't think there are any questions about that. Binder made two or three couple of decent saves yesterday,
Yeah,
but his overall distribution, his overall control of the area, and missing a couple of goals which went right by him. I haven't seen enough of Lemons, but any goalkeeper worth his salt should be at least getting their hands on them. And the fact that he was nowhere near them is sign of worry.
absolutely. And Binder doesn't inspire a lot of confidence. And my thought is, how worse can Lamens be at this point in time? So might as well try the young lad. see how it works out, and from there we can build it on.
Definitely, definitely. So we
And
have one more
yeah,
game before the international break comes its way, which is Sunderland and at home. Uh, I don't see any other like we have to win and we have to win well, which isn't going to be a cakewalk, by the way, because Sunderland themselves have started pretty well. They have won 3 out of 6 games.
yeah.
Xhaka, they brought, he has been on fine form for them, and they have been playing quite well.
Yeah, and I think Sunderland are doing something which some of the other promoted teams in the past couple of seasons have not done. They have come in with the thought process that, okay, we probably have been playing expansive football in the championship. Let's try and keep that brand of football alive by playing that way. But I think Sunderland have gone back to the basics. They've realized that possibly the disparity in the levels of the players that they have is quite high. So let's come back to basics, protect the ball, be defensively strong, and then try and make in goals to maybe win those games. So I think when they come to Old Trafford, we can expect them to have bodies behind the ball, ensure that they are not giving away a lot of chances, and they're going to do that. So I think the focus there has to be on creating a lot of chances, being able to get through those defensive lines, and being clinical in front.
Definitely, definitely, and nothing but a big win will do for us. I don't think a draw or a loss anyone would
I-
be able to explain. And Amorim will find himself having very difficult conversations if he were to not pick up a result in
Yeah,
this game.
no, that's true. My sense is that we probably nick a close win again. We get three back-to-back wins at Old Trafford, and there's a bit of a breathing space for the squad and the manager. But yeah, at this point in time, any win does it for us.
Which is necessary because not all the teams have started strong this season.
Yeah,
Liverpool, even though they got 15 points in the first 5 games, they haven't played the best football. And yesterday they lost against
yeah,
Crystal Palace. Chelsea, for the second game in a row, got
yeah.
a red card
Red card.
again
Yeah,
and lost the game eventually. And Palmer is also injured for a significant period of time.
yeah.
So, not all teams have started well. It gives you a chance to get amongst those European places initially. This should have been a game when we were doing that. Let's hope
Yeah,
Sunderland is the one where we pick up those 3 points.
absolutely. Hoping for the best result there. And thanks everyone for joining in. Do let us know your thoughts on the game. And as always, this is our perch. Let's knock him off. Until next time, stay united.